Oh man, I did a whole podcast before it's even started. I got a Jake Shaw on today from Black Flag, and I've got them all fired up right now to talk about this new supplement brand coming out that is just creating some really good products. These guys have been in the industry for a long time with another company, built a giant company in that space, and now they're doing their another company called Black Flag, and I'm excited for what they're doing. So, Jake, what's up, dude?
How's it going, Drew? Thanks for the
Good.
intro.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. You got me all excited, dude. I get another entrepreneur on here, and we just start going. And we did 30 minutes before this thing even started, kind of just talking brands and kind of going, kicking back and forwards, ideas. And I was like, we got to press record. We did like 3 really good pods just before this even started. So, yeah, dude, what
Gosh,
is
now
Black
now I
Flag?
hope I can get back into the flow. So
I think you'll get it. So, yeah, dude,
right on, man.
what's Black Flag, man? What are you guys doing?
Well, shoot, we've got a lot of things going on right now. I think maybe we do a little bit of justice and like do a little bit of backstory on everything. Maybe is that
Yeah,
okay with you?
whatever you want, dude.
Okay, so me personally, I my background is in sales, which is weird because I'm a web developer, so that's strange. I was definitely an extrovert turned into an introvert, and that was just because way back in the day, as a sales guy for a company called ATM Equipment, I I sold ATMs, and I wanted to go to school.
Oh, like the
Had some
literal
in,
like ATM like cash machines?
Yep,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's my background. So when I was 20 or so, when I started kind of my career, that's what I did. I sold ATMs. I was the sales guy over the Western U.S. from the Mississippi to the West. I spent most of my time in California, your home state,
Yeah.
just traveling around, slinging machines. So did that for quite a while, and I got to a point where I did not have the opportunity to finish school. So I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to get a degree. I thought that was important. Now I think back and it's like, I don't need to get it. But
This
when
is the
you're
debate.
20,
This is the debate my wife and I are having right now with all of our kids. Like, is it important? But we'll go into that in a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad I did it because it kind of taught me how to study and to be willing to put the effort into learning something new, even though at the time I didn't really love the things I was learning. I wanted to make sure that I saw it all the way through. So I'm glad I did it. Still am paying for it actually. So that's fun. But that's my background. I wasn't able to go to school unless I quit my job. They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me stop, working during the day so I could go and finish. But that gets me to like my skill set in web development. I was learning through design, Photoshop, Illustrator, uh, developing websites for my brother. Actually, that's what got me through school because I quit my job in order for me to make a living while I was in school. That's what I did, and so that's my main skill set is web development. I definitely don't look like a web developer. I don't talk like a web developer. Uh, don't fit that stereotype, but kind of a nerd. I love tech. I love building things. I've actually listened to some of your podcasts, Drew, and you and I are very similar. Like, I want to just build a better, like you say, a mousetrap, right?
Better mousetrap. Yep.
Better mousetrap, your tripods. So, same thing with me. Like for web development, I just want to make things better. I want to make a better experience for people and shorten that sales cycle. I still am kind of in sales. Marketing and sales are paralleled with each other. If I can shorten that sales cycle and make somebody convert, that is my job. So, yeah, that's my background. I worked at Mountain Ops for 8 years, started in 2016, which ironically, that's the same year that I started big game hunting. You and I are similar. I've only been
Oh yeah.
hunting for what is that,
Yeah.
9 years?
9 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I first got a bow. That was actually one of the sign-on bonuses that I made sure that I got a bow when I signed on at Mountain Ops because I had that interest. Like you, I loved upland hunting. I loved duck hunting. I was introduced to that by a really close friend of mine that I still hunt with regularly. But started in 2009 doing that. But that's my background. Was a mountain ops, did the web thing, was the creative director for them for quite a while. Worked hand in hand with some incredible people, Harbertsons, Farns, Matt Davis, Final Rise, Rihanna, Carey, now Stark. She got married, but anyways, just
Not
has.
like not married to like the guy who like Stark Var dirt bikes, right? Not
I
that
don't
Stark.
think so. No,
Okay, yeah.
he's from. What's the coffee company? The big coffee
Black
company,
Rifle.
Black Rifle. There you go. He's
Okay.
one of those guys. I think his name's Logan. But yeah,
Okay.
she married Logan a couple years ago. Has a baby now. Anyways, so been in the industry for quite a while. It feels like, even though it's only been 9-10 years, and I've had a lot of really good partnerships with people. I've done stuff. Obviously, my main job was mountain ops. In the meantime, I did side work all the time. So I was doing Total Archery Challenges website. They still have that
Okay.
website. I did that one. I currently work and do stuff for Canvas Cutter, Seth and Schaefer over there, Sheep Feet, Caleb, Allen. I've done that. Final Rise, did some stuff with Matt Davis. Brian Call, his website. I mean,
Dude, where
a
were
lot
you
of these
at when
I'm.
I just spent like 25 G's on a website. So where were you at
Well,
at the beginning of this year? It's already done now.
I know, but would love to work with you in the future. But yeah, I've been in the industry. Love it. Just everything that I love to do intersects with the hunting industry. There's so much that I love about it.
Mhm.
There's things that we talked about just before this that I don't love about it. But as far as answering your question, Black Flag. So getting to that. Last year, I left Mountain Ops. Which was a kind of a sad day. That place was amazing, really cool culture. I rubbed shoulders with some incredible people there, still incredible people there. But I did leave, and that was because they did eventually sell to a private equity company, and the culture suffered from that. There was some hires there, not saying they're bad people, but there were some things in the direction that the company was going that didn't align with some of the personal things that I wanted to do, and didn't see the full potential anymore there. And that's just natural. That's like a normal thing for a growing company. We were very successful. But personally, I left everything there that I was going to earn. I just left it. I full on abandoned my little equity that I had in the company and jumped over and started this company with Casey and Jordan called Black Flag. So that's kind of the backstory of how it was born. They have a whole other story that they can tell about that transition, but mine was it was a tough one, just because I love mountain ops and the mission there, improving lives, individuals, and families. Like, we created that, and we were super instrumental in that. So definitely believe in that still. But it's funny, I actually talk with people over there still, and there's not a whole lot of people that hunt there anymore.
Yeah, that's one of the things people don't understand. Like, so let's say like in the hunting space, mountain ops, big fish. In the private equity space, mountain ops, small fish. And you get
Very
gobbled
small.
up, very small, right? Like you get gobbled up and they just look at you as a number and that's it, right? And you lose that. It's really hard to keep that culture. And you see it a bunch of times in the hunting industry, but I've also seen it like within friends companies in locally in town. I'm friends with a lot of entrepreneurs, right? And they exit a business, get a payday, whatever. It almost always goes this way, right? Because a lot of times what happens is people will, these private equity firms are buying a company for a short, it's almost like a flip, right? They're buying this company. They have a 3 to 5 year plan to get that company to another size and sell again and sell again and sell again. And all they see is numbers, and you really lose that culture. And it's hard to keep that culture there once it's been bought up by a PE. You just see it a lot. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's like a normal. Sorry, I'm trying to hear. That's like a normal transition with the company that gets sold. So I was part of that. I was the collateral damage in that, and I had to make a decision to jump ship, right? Black Flag and our pirate terms, but
There you
I
go.
definitely jumped ship there and came over here, and we have some really cool things that are in the works, and I'm super excited about. But definitely, definitely have a rich history with this community, the outdoor industry, and loved my time at Mountain Ops and my tenure there. But bringing all that skill set and fire and that passion into this new venture, Black Flag. And I guess to answer your question, Drew, is we are an energy company. Energy, number one, we have a product called Revenge that we came out with last month. New and improved formulation for energy, focus, and clarity. Uh, our kind of tagline, everything we do is everything we do is intentional. Actually, the way we named the company, the product itself called Revenge, like there's meaning behind that. Some might say it's a negative context. Revenge, the sound of it is like a negative context to it, but I can easily flip that into a positive direction. Everybody has a revenge story, um, and that's where I like to focus is on that positive energy, right?
Oh, dude,
Um,
middle of the day, you've been getting your freaking butt kicked, and you're out in the mountains, dude. When I crack one of those energies and I put them in my bottle, all I can think about is, dude, I'm gonna kill you. So I like it. I get it, dude. Like every film we did this year, like you'll see me putting my powder in, and I'm just like, time to get serious, dude. Like I
yeah,
get it. Like it's cool. I like it. Yeah.
yeah, the kind of meaning behind revenge itself, like we created that product, and our tagline is kind of what I was getting at is with Mountain Ops it was conquer more. Here at Black Flag it's built for the thrill. And yes, we are in the outdoor industry. It's a big industry. There's a lot of categories in here. I personally, my category that I'm responsible for is hunting, outdoors, hunt, fish, tack, and those align with my passions. That's where I spend most of my time, um, is hunting and fishing. So, but as far as Black Flag in general, it's not just for hunters. It's for people that have passions that cross over into other categories like snowmobiling, wake surfing, fitness. There's so many different categories that we want to run this in
Mhm.
and take this energy, not only the drink, but also the energy that we want to impart and to help infuse a positive energy into people's lives so that they can live their life to the fullest.
Yeah, I really like that. I like the idea of you guys being a lifestyle brand versus a hunting brand. Because like for me personally, like, and I feel like it transcends like if most people who are in the hunting space are also doing other outdoor activities, right, and doing things, right? Like, so me personally, like my life, um, spend a ton of time in the hills, right? But I also go to the gym almost every single day, right? I drink an energy drink every freaking day. I drink a Monster, right, or a Ghost. Like I'm just like which I know it's probably not good for me. So, but I do every single day, and then I ride moto, right? Like I'm going to leave today and I'm going to ride moto, and I think that like it's kind of cool not to be pigeonholed, right? And like we're seeing that with Tricer right now. We're trying to we're breaking into the shooting industry, right? Which kind of like it kind of aligns with what you're doing. Like you're not leaving what you're doing. You're still going after the same people, but it's a different realm, right? And then there's also like the photography space, the outdoor photography space kind of fits into what we're doing. Like we're at the core, we're a hunting brand, right? But our brand also, the people who use our stuff do other things. And I think that's important for you guys not to be like, we only pack out elk, right? Because that's not the
Yeah.
case. Like a lot of people do other things. Actually, more people do other things, right? Like you said, the snowmobiling, the dirt bikes, the downhill I mountain bike, right? I love downhill mountain biking, like all that stuff. And there's a lot of dudes in the industry that do the same things I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so many other passions. In fact, we've talked about this recently here is my time, like when I'm actually hunting, I mean, there's other people like maybe you are spending way more time in the field than I am,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm probably out realistically because of family. Like I have two small boys that and my wife, like we're out camping. I mean, we're outdoors, but
Mm-hmm.
actually hunting, me and my buddies and getting after it, I'm probably in the field maybe 3 weeks out of the whole
Yeah,
year.
15 to 20. I
You
think
know what
I
I
think
mean?
that's probably a lot. So I would say
Yeah,
14 days is probably an average. Most dudes are getting out for like 1 to 2 weeks a year or weekends, right? So like to only
yeah,
be like we only drink my stuff when you're hunting, that's not going to sell your product, right? But I could tell you
no,
like throughout the year, I ride mountain bikes or bicycles almost every single day, right? And then I do all these other things. That's where you really need to get into that.
yeah. So like those 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Some years I've done a lot more, and my wife will tell me about that.
Dude.
it, I I have so many other passions and hobbies that I want to do. Like we have that same interest, single track riding. I ride a KTM 350, and that
Oh,
thing
dude, I ride the
is so.
300
Oh,
stroke.
dear.
I love it.
See, yeah, and that, I mean, if I could do it all over, I'd probably pick that bike.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it. I mean, that is a huge passion. My, I think back on like the most almost like spiritual experience that I've had in the outdoors. It wasn't even hunting. It wasn't single track riding. It was actually snowmobiling. I remember, oh gosh, I was probably 24 when I first got my first snowmobile, and I shouldn't have bought it. It was very irresponsible
You got to
for
make
me to
mistakes.
buy a
You got to make
snowmobile.
mistakes, dude. I tell my wife this all the time about my 18-year-old. You got to make mistakes. Let him do it.
Yeah. So I remember, in fact, I hit on this. Like, I got a bonus from ATM equipment, and I used that entire check on buying a old 2000, I think it was 2003 RMK 800. And I took that thing, and it was a big freaking weight. I mean, but I got up on the top of this mountain. It was in Utah, up in Cache Valley area, and it was one of the most surreal moments. Like the feeling of floating on powder was so amazing. But then I
Yeah.
stopped at the top and was looking across. And I mean, I'm an emotional guy. I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just who I am. I feel like I'm connected spiritually with my being and all that. But I remember looking out across like the landscape, and I just started crying. And I'll never forget that moment. It's like it made me feel like there was something out there, and we were all created for a better purpose, a greater purpose.
Yeah, man.
And those moments are what connect me, and I'm so grateful for those. And anyways, that was snowmobiling that gave me that.
Yeah. No, I get it, dude. Anything outdoors for me, like I am way more comfortable sleeping in. Like I'm putting like one of those toppers on my truck, and I just bought a new truck and put one of those toppers that pops up on it, like a overland topper. Like that's where I want to be. Like where I want to be is sleeping in the back of my truck or sleeping in a tent, backpacking. Like that's where I feel like, and I hate to say like it's where I feel most connected to God. I do a bunch of ministries and I go to church every single week. But like when I'm out there, it's just like this is where I want it. This is what I was created for. Like I want to be out here. Like when I get on my dirt bike and it's just like there is no option for Instagram because if you crash, you die, right? Like I almost died this weekend. Like I was like freaking going 70 miles per hour, hit a rock, blew my rim out, up over the bars, like did Superman, came back down. Like that's like living for me. Like I love
Yeah,
that side of it. Like that's something like that is so lacking in society today, right? Like we live in this world where everyone's just like at a desk and they're not getting out and doing anything, right? And it's like you
yeah.
get out there and you experience what God made for you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is awesome.
Oh, for sure. There's a scene in a movie that I saw. I'm trying to think of The Greatest Showman. You remember that show? You
Yeah,
ever
I
watched
do.
that show?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's sitting in a desk, and he looks out, pans across into the windows of the office building next to him, and it's all these people that are just sitting there working, right?
Mhm.
And like that moment, he realized like there's so much more to this life, and I feel like each one of us needs to have that moment in our lives that like, yes, we have to do the day to day things in order to create a living and provide for ourselves and our families, and we should all do that as well as we can. But we do need those experiences outside and that we can connect to something greater. And it's spiritual, whatever you want to call it. We're made for way more than just being robots and working at a
100%.
desk all day.
100%. And that's what you're trying to tap into at Black Flag.
Yeah, yeah. So built for the thrill. I mean, when you're out there, whatever passion you're involved in, if it's wake, surf, hunting, fishing, tactical. There's so many different things, but all of us have the same thing in common as we all need energy. And natural energy, the product was tailored for that. We do have 100 milligrams of natural caffeine, also with a synthetic blend that helps just make sure that it lasts longer and doesn't tail off and give you that crash that canned energy drinks do. Believe me, Drew, I do that same thing. I'll run to Maverick or any gas station and still consume energy that way, right? But what we've created is a better, cleaner energy for you. There's some really good ingredients in there. Check out our website. There's a list of really good ingredients in there. So it's a lot healthier alternative.
No microplastics and all that fun stuff.
No, I'm actually, that's like a new thing for me.
My wife is into it right now, dude. Like, so, and she's like, that can has everything is microplastics. Apparently, everything that I drink is. It's she's like, you got plastic. There's plastic in that. We're not doing K-cups anymore. We're freaking French pressing. We're just like, it's making my life very difficult. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, for sure. You have to have a certain type of plastic container that doesn't let that. But I actually listened on Instagram, some lady that was talking about this. I think it was Huberman that was talking about it on his podcast. Is these microplastics that are everywhere. Yeah. And she was talking about how like all these people, nuke their food and it's getting into the food. And that's like the worst way that people are consuming their food and getting all these microplastics. Well, with Revenge and our product, it's best served cold, man. Revenge is best served cold. So we're not heating this up. It's not a.
That's pretty good.
That's a hot drink.
I like that. That's pretty good. Revenge is best served cold. Are you guys going to do a canned drink?
So yeah, that as far as product runway, that's one thing that we are working towards. That's a whole nightmare of to navigate through that, just because you have to have certain distributions set up. As far as like direct to consumer, which is kind of the typical model in our playbook with Mountain Ops and the things that other places that we've helped and companies, direct to consumer is the way to go. But with that ready to drink canned energy, you can't do that. You have to find distribution channels. Yeah. It's not feasible. So that's definitely like when you talk about where Black Flag is going, I'm just going to tell you my personal dream is I want to become a Red Bull. I want my dream is Red Bull, basically, to be a competitor with Red Bull. You say Monster, Ghost, like these are great, huge, cool companies, and I want the Black Flag name to be there as one of those. That's my dream and my aspiration. Energy will get us there. We are going to do a pre-workout as well, specifically for fitness, and then a hydration. Not everybody wants caffeinated, but everybody that's out there grinding and whatever you like to do, there's the hydration that you definitely need in order to do it. So we'll create a hydration drink, maybe with some salt in there, right? Like sodium recovery type stuff. So that's kind of where we're going. And then ready to drink for sure.
What's ready to drink? Oh, ready to drink, like already done, the cans and stuff.
Sorry, yeah, canned energy. Yep.
Yeah, I like
RTD
that.
Is what we call
like for me, honestly, like that's pretty much all I use. I really don't do the pre-workout so much anymore, but sometimes I do. But definitely, I always do an energy powder, and I'll do a hydration as well. What would be dope is if you guys made a hydration energy combo, because I literally do that. So what I'll do is like, because with me with water, so like this was the year of the heat wave, right? Like I literally had one hunt with snow. Every single hunt this year was like 70 to 90 degrees. It was miserable from September through November, and I was just you can just see the salt. My back was just covered. It's just white. My hats were all ruined. Like it was just hot. Every freaking hunt, dude. I hunted in like 5 states. And every hunt was hot. And what I would do is because like, especially when you're pumping water, like I don't want to use 2 Nalgene's full of water when I'm only bringing 3 Nalgene's for a day. So what I would do is do like an energy powder and a hydration powder in the same thing, shake it up and drink that thing. Is like a strong concoction. But man, I wish there was like a combo hydration energy thing. So
the way that we'll go about it is that for sure. Like that's the way we'll tackle it. We'll well, there's base ingredients that we will for sure make sure that they get into that hydration drink. L-arginine, L-citrulline. There's some ways
Mm-mm-mm.
in order to do that. That doesn't necessarily mean there's caffeine in it, but definitely we'll focus on that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there is nothing better because, like, I'll just say liquid IV because what I'm using, right, for my hydration. Like, dude, when you like just chug a liquid IV at the end of the day and you're like all cramped, like it just feels good. Like you feel
Yeah,
like, oh, that hydration. It's like that's I'm excited for that. I'm excited for those products because that's kind of like really all I need in the backcountry. Like I don't need a ton of supplements, but I definitely need an energy thing in the middle of the day. I don't do a ton of coffee. Like I know like coffee's a lot of guys like to do coffee in the morning. I just feel like it takes so much time and it's like you're trying to warm it up and yeah.
yeah.
So I kind of like the energy powder more, and then I like the plus you get more water, right? And I like the hydration. So that's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so as far as my want for that, and something that I experienced this year, I actually, we're in December, right? Like we're at the end of the year and we're thinking back on those moments in 2024 that were like our highlights. And if you were to ask me that, I'll ask you that, but I'll tell mine first.
Mm-hmm.
Is I actually had an opportunity to run the Grand Canyon this year. So I think it was at the end of March. We dropped into the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And I did that with the coolest thing about it is I did that with my two brothers. And that was the first time that we've kind of had like that type of an experience together. We love trail running. And so that was a big feat for us. We did rim to rim to rim. So started on the south side, went all
Yep.
the way to the north. I personally, me and my brother JJ, I'll be honest, we did not finish the whole thing. We did about 36 miles, I want to say. My other brother Jared, who's a freaking workhorse, he did the whole thing, which is 44, 43 or something like that. But that by far was the coolest moment of my 2024 experience. Like I think back on that, and to your point, I absolutely needed hydration. I want to create a product that I can take down because we're going to do it again in 2025. Um, that I can take down there and it'll help me because I absolutely experienced cramps.
Yeah, dude.
Like my legs were seizing up that whole
I've
time.
hiked that before. I can never imagine running it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like there's guys that are insane. I mean, I think the record holder for rim to rim to rim who lives in Arizona really close and trains there, it was like 4 hours, under 5 hours. He did that whole thing. So
It's
44
so
miles.
gnarly hiking out of that. It's just literally uphill. It's just uphill.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to come out whatever it is, 3,000 feet, but it's straight up a hill. It's gnarly.
Yeah. And all those, the thing is like, I think you just put one foot in front of the other, right? Like it's like anything, you'll get out of it eventually. But the way that the Grand Canyon is structured with those steps, it's
Mm-hmm.
just so different. It's not something I feel like you can train for unless you're just sitting at the gym and doing the stair stepper for what would probably took me 4 hours to get out of it from the bottom. I'm
Dude,
not going to
yeah,
go and train on the gym or the stair stepper at the gym for 4 hours.
yeah.
So those steps though, they're uneven. It's hard to train for that. We did it actually with um, Cam Haines' brother. His name's T Spike, Taylor Spike. Not sure if you know him but he is a giant, man. Like he's out there running with Cam, and doing those 100-mile, 250-mile Cocodona races. I mean, this was a easy thing for him and was the hardest thing I've personally done in my entire life. So looking forward to doing it again with them in 2025 for sure.
Dude, not only that, like dodging freaking like tourists and donkeys like all the way up. How the heck do you navigate that? But like I went and it's like 6,000 Asians in like high heels with like one bottle. It's like hot out, like one bottle of water. It's like dehydrated. Like just it was gnarly. Like you're just running past people the whole time or what?
So yeah, I mean, we were just having to pass people the whole time down. I was looking at people that are like why are you even down here? Like,
Dude,
how are you even doing this physically? Your appearance, and I'm such a dick for thinking that, but like, there are some
I've
very
seen it.
overweight people
I've
down
seen
there,
it.
and I'm like, how are you going to get out of here without a helicopter?
Yeah,
You
I've
know?
seen it. I understand it. I understand this 100% because I remember having to like give water to like this Asian couple because they bought like one little bottle of water and it's whatever it is, September at the Grand Canyon. So it's freaking hot as balls. And they're just like dying halfway down. And
Yeah.
it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Anybody that's dropped down there and experienced it, I'm glad you have, because that makes this
Yeah.
conversation easier. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's
it
gnarly.
is, it is next level stuff.
I
And
actually did it with my kids when they were like 10, 9 and 10. And we dropped down the North Rim and then came back up. And we stayed the night down there, like whatever, Starlight Flash, something like that. And then hiked back
the
up the next
Phantom
morning.
Ranch,
Something
did you
like
make it
that.
a Phantom?
I don't know what it was. It was like right over the river. So you hiked down, then we hiked in. I was surprised how much wildlife was. There was a lot of deer down there and stuff. I was really
Yeah.
surprised how many deer we saw.
Yeah.
And then we kind of camped over the river down there, and then we hiked back out the next morning. And they were little, but it was cool to do with them. It's
Yeah,
tough for them for sure.
that's really cool at 10 years old. That's the thing. I've listened to a couple of your podcasts, Drew, and the way that you have talked about your kids and like integrating them into the passions and things that you like to do is really inspiring for me, because I've kind of had a different mentality, and I'm going to say this and regret that I said it on your podcast, but like, I have been selfish. Like, honestly, I thought my approach with getting my kids involved in my passions as far as hunting goes is like, my oldest just turned 10 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing this more and more is like, I've done a bad job at kind of giving them that experience. Now, granted, this year I did take both of them. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old now. And I did take them on their first rifle antelope hunt this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my tag, it was my buddies, but I wanted them to experience kind of a easier hunt, basically a road hunt,
Yeah.
right? Just here in Utah. But I've done a bad job at like introducing them, and the reason why is like, I'm like, okay, I started in 2026 my big game hunting, and the reason why is like, I only have a certain amount of time to kind of be selfish and do this for me, and towing a 4, 5, 6 year old along with you is very difficult.
Yeah, dude. But like
So
you get like dude, the best hunting partners in the world when they get older. Like when they get it. Like my 18-year-old, I don't know that dog's gonna hunt the rest of his life. We'll see. Like my 16-year-old is a killer. Like he's outclassing me. He's crushing it. But like what I've found, like what I've done with my family, because we have 5 kids, right? We homeschool all of our kids, is rather than like base our life around their hobbies, we kind of base their life around ours. And like they became passionate, right? So like we love camping, so they love camping, right? So we can do that with them. Like I love moto. All my kids ride dirt bikes, dude. Like my 5-year-old and my 11, and 16-year-old, like all day long, dude. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to desert tonight. They'll be up and they're riding dirt bikes all day long. Like that is so fun to do with them. And it kind of opens it up to where I can have more days in the field, if that makes any sense. It's kind of cheating, right? It's like you get
yeah,
more days
yeah,
in the field, right? So like you get to a certain point, like with hunting, where you don't really have to kill everything all the time. But if your kids have tags, you know what I mean? You can go out and do these hunts with them and you get more days in the field. And it's really hard for your wife to say, I mean, this is a hack for marriages here. It's really hard for your wife to say, no, you can't take our son on a 5 or 6 day backpack hunt. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's the most formative time of his life, right? Like you take him up to those mountains, those Cache Mountains, wherever you were, and you're out there backpacking with them. Like I did on my kids' hunt this year, and you're just sitting there talking to him about God and relationships and, girls and college and what he's going to do with his life. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you can't beat that, you know?
yeah. No, I definitely agree. I definitely need to change my mentality about that and introducing them into my personal hobbies. I mean, I am doing that in a way, just not necessarily with hunting specifically. Like
Yeah.
with 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 my passion for snowmobiling, that's a little bit harder. That's more like an individual thing. But there'll be days that we take them out. As far as motorcycle riding, I did buy them some little KTM dirt bikes, so that's been
Oh,
fun.
nice.
One of them, my younger boy, is the one that kind of gravitates to it a little bit more. He's a little more outdoorsy, active that way. My older boy, he's more of the sensitive one. So
Dude,
I've got to navigate
I've
that.
got the whole spectrum, dude. Like my 11-year-old is like, I'm going fast, but he's going like so slow. My
Yeah.
5-year-old, psychopath, does not know like the limit. He has no limit. So like he's much more like, I say me and him are probably way more aligned in like our styles of riding, but like they're all having fun though, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, my youngest is the crazy one. Like he just goes and goes. The first time my oldest one hopped on a motorcycle, I was there next to him. I'm like, "Hey, you ready to go?" You know, he had the little. He was probably about 4 at the time, but he had like those training wheels on
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We were out we were out in the West Desert of Utah, out there, and he takes off, and I'm telling him like, hey, make sure you brake, right? Like if you ever feel like you need to, just let go. Or you don't even have to like touch anything, just let go. Well, you know how that goes. Like
Dude,
he
whiskey.
fills it, and yeah, he just whiskey throttles it and keeps going and runs right into a sagebrush and into a hole, and
No.
like cries the rest of the trip and ruins his experience. And so I'm like, crap, you know. And but my youngest, holy cow, he rips, and that's all he wants to do. We bought him little go karts like to ride around the neighborhood, and it goes maybe 12, 13 miles an hour. And first time around the thing, he's like, "Is this only how fast it goes?"
Just rev
Like,
limiter the whole time, dude. Rev
yep,
limiter, whole time. Yeah,
yep, yeah.
yeah, dude.
So
But it's
it's fun
fun.
to watch them, though.
Yeah, and it's like the thing for me, like with, and I get what you're saying because like I do hunts by myself as well, and like I feel like I need time away. I think it's good for my marriage to be away. Like you know what I mean. Like it's good for me to spend time away from my wife to be out in the field by myself. But having the kids out there, man, there really is like, especially for someone like me from San Diego. So I'm always traveling, right? So you're gonna get 10 hours in the car with your kid, right? At least minimum. I mean, some of these hunts are 16 hours away from me. In the car with them, talking to them, doing your thing, right? Or even now they're both driving, so they're driving me. I'm talking, listening to podcasts. Like it's real formative in their life. And man, like I'm telling you right now, like my son is leaving to go to Hawaii on January 8th. We're doing this like Christian missionary school. He's going to go and spend 3 months doing missionary training in Hawaii, then go spend 3 months in like an unreached peoples group somewhere, right? And dude, he's gonna be gone. Like you only have
Yeah,
so much time with your kids, and like anyone listening to this, like I know, like it's so cliche, like it goes fast, but dude, like it goes so fast, man. Like it's like you're not gonna get these years back with them, and like they're gonna be gone, and like he's gonna go off to school. He wants to be a lawyer. He's looking at going to freaking all these crazy schools, and like he's probably not gonna come back. Like he's probably gonna move away, and like I'm gonna see him a few times a year. You know what I mean? Like man, like
for sure.
you could always make more money. You can't get this time with your kids back. And this isn't me talking. It's like me talking to the audience, right? Like, dude, take the time to do it. Freaking, who cares about making money? Take time off work. Go out with your kids. Do something with them because like they are going to grow up and they're going to be gone before you know it. Like we're actually at a point now. Like I'm almost 40, but like, dude, like I'm starting to lose kids out of my house, which is crazy, which is weird. Like we're gonna be
Yeah,
down to like, within 2 years, my other son's gonna be gone, right? And it's gonna be like I'm gonna have 3 kids. Like it's just like it's a strange dynamic, man. And like especially these hunts this year, like the hunt I just went on with my kid, my mule deer hunt. I think it's coming out in January or something on our YouTube channel. My 18-year-old, it was probably our last hunt for a long time. Like it's like he's not gonna
wow.
hunt next year. He's going to school, right? He's gonna go to school for I
Yeah,
mean 6 years minimum, right? And then who knows where he's going to be? Like, who knows where we get another big hunt like that together? Like, that's pretty crazy, man. Like, it's hard to get that back. You can't get it back. You cannot get time back.
that's I get like emotional thinking about it, right? Like the time span that you have with your kids. Like I just went through this. I mentioned my boy's birthday was yesterday. 10 years old, a decade, and it feels like it was 3 years. You know,
Yeah,
it went by so quick, and I am super grateful because we have spent some really good quality time together as a family. We get out, we have a travel trailer. Every
yeah,
year we do the same, pretty much the same experiences together. We'll go up to like Highland Park in Idaho, and we'll go out West Desert. We have these certain trips that we do, not only with my immediate family, but with my extended family as well.
Yeah.
And it's always fun, but it's just crazy how time flies by. And I couldn't agree with you more. It's like we have to. Sometimes it's hard to spend the money on certain experiences, but at the end of the day, those are the things that your kids are going to remember, the experiences. I've had this
Yeah.
conversation multiple times with people. It's like if at the end of my life all I've given my kids are experiences and no money, I would rather do that.
100%. And honestly, it's not even a money thing. Like, people get so caught up in like, I need to get the most bitchin' wakeboard boat and do all these things. And it's like, dude, like, if you go and rent an aluminum boat, and instead of having to, work way more and take overtime, like go rent an aluminum boat and go fishing with your kid, just as formative. Like, your kid will have just
Yeah,
as much fun catching bluegills out of some freaking pond behind a golf course as he would going on some exotic trip to the Amazon to go fishing. Like, just go out with your kid and do something, right? Just get out and do something with them. Like, go ride a bicycle with them. Like, whatever it is, like, it doesn't have to be, you just can't get this time back, man. And I feel like we get so caught up in, and like, trust me, I'm guilty of this. Like, this is the first time in my life where I've had some freedom. Like, I spent 25 years working 6 to 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. Like, I just just beat my head against the wall. And like the last, like quit that company in May, my dad's company, which people still think I'm crazy, right? Biggest sheep company in Southern California. I quit to go do a hunting company. But man, having this freedom to be with my kids, right? And like, we're going to get off this call right now. I'm going to go drive them to North County, San Diego, to go to ice skating for 3 hours. Like, I never got to do that with my kids, right? I'm going to go to the desert on a Wednesday afternoon today and go be with them. And like, that is just like, it's mind blowing how important it is and how much I love it versus like just beating my head against the wall and working. I understand I'm in a really neat situation right now with Tricer to be able to do that stuff, but I wish that I would have not done what I did for the last 25 years and did what I did to my oldest kids. Like, my oldest kids
yeah,
didn't get me. They got tired of me. They got me coming home, dude, and like barely, like, I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning, driving an hour to work, working and getting home at 4 or 5, and like falling asleep at 7. I couldn't even communicate because I was working so hard to provide for my family, which you have to do as a man. As a man, you have to provide for your family. But there's definitely better ways for me to do it than I did. And I definitely neglected my kids with like the small stuff, if that makes any sense, right? Like,
yeah.
yes, I would take them on hunts every year. Yes, we would do stuff like that. But like, dude, like that's the one-on-one communication stuff, right? Like, me and my daughter now, um, she's 13. Every single boy at church loves her. Every single boy likes her. It's driving me. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. We go on a date every single week. Sit down and we go get breakfast
Oh, that's
together.
cool.
Sit down, have breakfast together, and just talk. And she just never shuts up. And I'm like, dude, like, I've been missing this for 13 years of your life. Like, you just want to talk to me, right? Like, rather than just like, I have to work because I can get her to go do whatever gymnastics or whatever she wants. Like, it's just those that 30 minutes with your kid is so formative, right? Like, and a couple of my kids are that way, right? Like, they just want to, like, a few of them just want to go riding and do stuff like that. A couple of them just want to talk, right? Like, my 11-year-old just wants to talk about the stupidest crap, like Fortnite and like the stupidest stuff I don't care about,
Yes,
right? And
I
you're
know
sitting
what
there
you
and
mean.
you're listening to them, but then it means so much to them, right? And I never, like, that stuff is just as important as the experiences, in my opinion, and maybe more, right? Like, right now, like, my goal with my daughter is like, I want to be the first guy she dates, right? She's not going to date till she's like probably 16, 18. Um, but like, I want to be the guy there talking to her so she can understand what a man looks like, understand what a husband looks like. So when she goes into a relationship, she's like a secure woman, right? Like, I don't want her going into this
Yeah.
thing like lacking this fatherly relationship. I want her to have this relationship with me. This is way off of a hunting podcast right now, but yeah,
No, this
man,
is
on the
great. This
kid
is
stuff,
real
dude,
life
like,
stuff.
I'm just giving you like this is my freaking kids are 18 years old going off to college. And this is what my regrets from it. And this is what I want to change.
Well, I mean, I'm glad it turned this way because real life stuff is the most important to me. I mean, you mentioned you're almost 40, so does that mean
Almost
you're
40.
39?
39, 38, almost 39. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
just turned 39,
Did you?
so we're in the same boat. And I'm a little. It sounds like you have obviously older kids. These are good lessons even for me, right? Like I need to do a better job. I've been clear about that. It's like just a better job at integrating them into my passions. And I know those little moments that you're talking about is like, I have been fortunate to work very close to my house. So, like at Mountain Ops and even here at Black Flag, I'm within 5 to 10 minutes from my house, and that's been really nice because it's really easy for me to be at home quickly. So I don't have like a commute. I can spend more time, quality time with my kids. But again, it's a good reminder always, like you're talking about, is even though I do have that proximity and can leave at a moment's notice, if my mind's not there when I'm there and not being present and really giving them and listening, giving them my attention and my time, it's for naught. Like there's you might as well just be at work, right? So to make that intentional decision to listen to your kids, to be there, I need to do a better job of that. I think all those that are listening can do a better job at it, right? There's always something to learn and be better at. So,
And when I'm tired as heck from a long day like that, I come home, I take out one of these things called Revenge, pour it into a cup. What's it doing for me? Let's circle this thing back, bro. So
that's right, dude.
what is in this thing that makes it so much better? I know you told me that it is better than where you're working before. It has better stuff and it's healthier. What's in this thing? What's it going to do for me outside of just making me like wake up for 20 minutes?
Yeah, so we actually partnered with a guy named Jose. He was the formulator and one of the founders of Bucked Up. If you've heard of them,
Yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
kind
I
of a
like,
big company.
yeah.
But he also is part of this with us. He's just a brilliant mind, brilliant guy. Is really the science behind everything that we're doing. I personally like, yes, I want something clean. I'm not the guy that's like sitting there and like, well, what's actually in it? You know, I'm not
Me
that
neither.
guy. I'm
Me
not.
neither.
I'm not that guy. I'm fine with going and get a ghost energy, but obviously there are better ways to get your energy, and so that's what he's been tasked or was tasked with. And in these other products that we'll be coming out with, he's tasked with getting the best ingredients, top of shelf, and integrating into our products. So he's done that with this Revenge product. It's a better formulation. You can go on our website and check out all of those ingredients. The list is pretty long. It's awesome. When we formulated Ignite 10 years ago for Mountain Ops, that was 10 years ago. Like things have changed just like everything else, you know,
That formula,
tripods or
that formula hasn't changed.
I'm saying the ingredients inside of there, they have not changed
So
that
10 years. Oh
to
yeah. So
my
things have
knowledge. Yeah.
way changed in the health space and
Well,
the energy. Yeah. 100% things have changed.
well, and you think
Yeah.
about that, like they are, I can see why you'd be scared to do that. When you have a conglomerate and people that love your product, you change one thing, it could change the taste of it. And so then that consumer is like, well, what the heck, you know, even though it may be a better ingredient for somebody, it might not taste the same way and have the same experience. So it's always, it's scary to change product, but I think it's definitely necessary. Like you were talking about, is like making a better mousetrap. It's always about progression and
Mm-hmm.
finding ways to improve, and that's in our product and obviously our personal lives as well. So
So are you getting more sustained energy from this versus like a spike?
yeah, so I've been taking the product for this whole year. I personally like, I have to be careful because I've consumed so much caffeine that like I I don't feel it anymore necessarily, you know. So I have to
Yeah.
kind of binge. I'll get off of it, and then for a while I'll binge it and experience it, but then I have to like wean off of it. So me personally, that's just how I am. I could take caffeine at 6:30 at night and still sleep just fine. So but there are other ingredients in there that help me focus. Like it's not just, oh, I have caffeine and I have energy. It's
That's what I
cognitive
was getting to. So there's
functions,
focus
right?
too. That's what I wanted to hear
Yeah.
about. That kind of stuff.
Yep. Yep. So those are the benefits that I feel like I feel. Yes, I might be yawning at work while I'm at my desk, but my brain is still firing and functioning. And for what I do, and that's web development. My specific tasks here at Black Flag, I'm so used to saying Mountain Ops, at Black Flag is web. And so there are always things changing, experiences that I want to improve on. And so this product helps me continually stay focused on the task at hand in my personal day-to-day life.
Dude, I'm excited to try it because, like I said, I ran a different kind of energy powder all year, and I do one every single day. Like 50 days in the field this year. Like I'm going to drink the snot out of this stuff and try it out. I'm excited to support
Yeah,
another brand in the industry doing it.
We'll definitely send you one of each flavor, and we have tubs right now, so the quantity of as far as serving size is 50 in there. That's a little bit more than what we typically did as far as the quantity.
Tubs right now, not the individuals.
Sample, yeah. So we have sample packs as well. I can send you some of those, but the sample packs that we did samplings through like Total Archery Challenges. That's how we did our soft launch, was through all the Total Archery Challenge stops. We were at some of those, we actually gave people like a sample, which was just the one serving.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have the tubs, which are 50 servings, scoop powder. But we will be creating a better packaging for like the single servings. Like the one that we have is a little bit fatter and was a little bit harder to get into like a water bottle. So we're changing that packaging in order to make that experience better.
So you'll have them
I can definitely give you some
next season. Like I'm out there, I'll throw, because I do bags, right? So I do 6 days in the field, six 1 gallon bags, one revenge in every single bag. You'll have those next year.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we've been talking about it. We're just trying to find the right packaging that makes the most sense for us. But yeah, we for sure will have. We call them trail packs back in the day, sample packs, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to try it out, and I'm actually excited to put that tub on my desk and start using those maybe instead of the Monster I'm drinking every single day, and just try it out and see how it is. Because like I said, it is kind of like you drink those Monsters, and you're like, this can't be good for me. Even though I only do 0 sugars, but I'm like, this can't be good for me. There's I can't pronounce the words.
Yeah, there's definitely a better way, definitely more sustained energy actually too, the way that it's formulated. But I am with you, dude. I'll stop at a gas station, and the way of consuming energy through a cold can, just hearing it pop open, experiencing it that way, there's nothing better. There really isn't. So
there's nothing better. I feel bad. My mule deer hunt I just did, the video, every single day I'm carrying a Monster around because it was a hunt that we didn't backpack on. I'm just like, dude, I drink a lot of Monster. I'm watching these videos, I'm like, I drink a lot of Monster. So, dude, we're getting close to that hour mark. We always like to wrap up with a hunting story. You got a hunting story for us?
Heck yeah, always. So I was actually going to ask you as far as your highlight of 2024. We never got to it.
Oh, dude, my highlight for sure is my kid killing that big buck over there in Utah. That has to be my highlight.
I didn't hear that story.
I'll send you a video. Yeah, he shot a good buck. They've all heard the story on here, but yeah, he ended up shooting a 170 something, 7x5, non-typical, day 4. Yeah. We were out there 7 days, 380 yards. My kid just freaking. Oh, that's my highlight for sure. That's a moment that you're never going to get back. It's just awesome. It's just, yeah, for sure. That's the highlight of the year.
Goes well with what we're talking about on this podcast, but
dude, 100% awesome. Goes well. That's hands down, everything I did. I've been all over the world this year, traveled more than I've ever traveled in my life. And that by far, that spending that, a backpack style hunt with my son, with him at the first year, he's actually outglassing me. It's he is a killer. He is a hunter. So proud of him. That's the highlight of my hunt year. Hands down.
And he's that way because you've taught him. So that's awesome. Well, as far as my highlight this year, as far as hunting goes, I had an archery, just a general season archery tag for mule deer here in Utah. And a little bit of backstory is the last 3 animals, I hate to admit this, but the last 3 animals that I've arrowed, I've wounded and I've never found. So that was 2 last year, and it just sucks. That's just part of bow hunting. I feel like I'm pretty proficient with my bow and shooting. Put the work in, time and effort to make sure that I'm top of my game with the best equipment. I feel like I owe that to every animal that I'm pursuing. Mm-hmm. So that's just my personal ethos on hunting. If I'm going to do it, I need to do it really well and make sure that that animal doesn't suffer. Unfortunately, that's just the flip side of hunting. There is those horror stories, but this year I was able to kill a deer here in Utah with my. I'll send you a picture. It's a pretty sweet buck. He has really cool eye guards, that like hook eye guards. But the cool thing about it was I watched this buck for weeks. And it's the first time that I've actually killed an animal that like I was scouting and targeting. Every animal I've killed with my bow, or I've just happened upon them and did spot and stalk and was able to kill something. But this one in particular, it took me like I think it was 3 weeks to finally arrow, and I just studied it, figured out where it liked to transition, where I found it bedded, and I don't know if you've ever used one of those tree saddles.
Yeah, dude, I got a tethered one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I had one of those, and so I'm like, hey, this this tree, if he comes back here, this is the tree that I'm going to set up in. And so like I actually took the time to make like a trail so I could be super quiet, like in the dirt. So like there was nothing that made sound. So at the end of the workday, I could slip up in there, get on this trail, get up into this tree that I knew was kind of over where he was. And that's exactly what I did. One evening, like getting close to last light, I got up in there and that buck was bedded. Came up, um, got up, and I had about like 30 minutes of shooting light left. And he took the wrong turn around a tree. So I actually had to get down out and I ran up the hillside on one side of this draw, and I got within about 35 yards of it, and I was able to arrow it. And it was just one of the coolest experiences to be able to like pattern this and target this buck and to get it and to kill it clean and break that streak of wounding animals
Yeah, for sure.
and getting some
You
down.
start questioning everything.
Oh man, it gets
Yeah,
in your
I
head.
wounded.
And
I haven't. I don't think I've lost. I lost an animal. It's on film this year. I shot a wild boar, and I ended up gut shooting it. The filmer couldn't find him, and I was like, "It's the one on the right." And he's like, I was just talking, and it wasn't the filmer. It was my fault. It was muzzle loader, and I ended up shooting a little far back, and I couldn't find this pig. So it was a New Mexico hunt. It's on video, and I'm like, dude, like it just even if it's a freaking pig, it just sucks. Like it just when you wound something, like you want to kill it, you want to get it done. Like you don't want to do that to an animal. Like you just want it to suffer.
yeah, it's the worst feeling ever. It makes
It
me
really is.
question everything.
Yep.
So
Don't miss. It'll haunt your dreams. Same thing with don't wound. You'll haunt your dreams. You know what I mean? It does it. But yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. I'm super stoked for Black Flag. I'm super stoked to try this stuff out. You guys will probably see me. I'll have it on some of my videos and stuff on YouTube and on Instagram stuff because I'm gonna try this stuff out. I'm excited to use it. I use a powder every day, and I'm curious how this one works compared to what I'm using, and I'm excited for it, dude. So, Jake, where can we find Black Flag? You guys are D2C only, right?
yeah, right now it's just online. So if you go blkflg.com, blkflg.com. So you can go buy Revenge on there. We have some apparel items as well, but we'll definitely be ramping up and getting some even cooler gear here in 2025. So,
Rad, dude. I'm excited. Let's do it again, bro. I'll see you. See you
Drew,
soon.
thanks for the time, man. Appreciate it.